keeps the wife under the care of the eldest child in the family, makes the proper arrangement, makes sure the wife will be taken care of very nicely, and he leaves the house completely focus on the devotion service to Krishna. So out of all these 4 ashram, the Grihastha ashram is the most important ashram, because this Grihastha ashram, it supports all 3 other ashrams, Brahmacharya ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, as well as Sannyasa ashram. And you will see in Bhagavad Gita, who did Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to? A sannyasi or a sage or a brahmachari? No, he spoke to a Grihastha. Arjuna was a Grihastha, he was a married man. He had children, he had grandchildren. And Krishna spoke this Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. And we can see in nice Gita Bhavan, we will see such a many family pictures. On the altar we have Shiv Darbar, where Shiv, Parvati, Ganeshji, Skandan, they are family. Then Sitaram Lakshmana, they are family. Then Radha Krishna, Krishna in Dwarka, he had 16,108 wives. Each wife had minimum 10 children. So big family. And you can see all over, then we have Nav Durga, she is also from a family. Everywhere you see the picture. So family, it's a picture of family. So family or the Grihastha ashram is one of the most glorious ashram which is glorified in our scriptures. So today we'll just speak some of the principles of Grihastha ashram, and then we'll narrate one story of how, because principle is fine, we can talk about principle, but is it really practicable or not? That is the main question. So let's understand this word Grihastha ashram. Grihastha ashram, Graha and Astha. Somebody who lives in the house. Graha is the house, Astha means one who lives in the house. So when you live in the house, there's a family, there's a husband and a wife. So you'll see everybody all over the world, people are they're living in the house. But in this word, the most important word is the ashram. Having a house is not sufficient, but the house must be a ashram. What is ashram? Ashram means a place where Krishna or the service to the God is in the center of the house. This house becomes the ashram. If the Krishna or the service of the God is not in the center of the house, then that house becomes Griha Medhi, where something else is there. What something else is there? Sense gratification, exploitation, envy, so many things. But when we have the Grihastha ashram, in the ashram, the center is Krishna. The center is service to the Lord. So, the foundational principles of the ashram means service. That is the foundation. If in the house the principle of service is not there, then it is replaced by exploitation. The husband is exploiting wife, wife is exploiting husband, then there are children, and so forth and so on. But when you have the service is in the center of the house, then that house becomes the ashram. So in our scriptures, our acharyas, they all explain, we should have the Grihastha ashram, where the Krishna is in the center of the life. So as we spoke about, the service is the center of the house. Now, where does this service start from? So I'm going to ask some questions. So if husband and wife is in the house, and the principle is to serve, who is the most important person to serve in the house? Any idea? You're all quiet. You may not be able to make up mind. Okay. I'll give you answer on your behalf. So in the house, when there's an ashram, Krishna is of course the center of the house. And both husband and wife, they come together with the mood of serving each other. The husband is serving wife and wife is serving husband. The husband, he does not say, I am the leader of the house and whatever I say has to be done. That is not the right attitude. Of course, he is a leader of the house, but his mentality should be of the service. So he says, that this lady, which we have agreed to come and serve each other. So this lady, she is the property of Krishna. She is the child of Krishna. Somehow, with the arrangement of the Lord, this lady is under my care. So I should serve her. I should give her all the facility to her. Physical, mental, financial, moral, whatever service, whatever support she requires, I should provide to this lady. And the lady, her attitude is that this wonderful man is accepted me to protect me. So let me serve him with all my sincerity. With all my, whatever way I can serve him, I must serve him. So then they come very harmoniously together to serve each other, but keeping Krishna is in the center. So in the house, the first service is for the husband and wife to serve each other. And then that house becomes actually a Vaikuntha Loka. Vaikuntha is not Swarga, it is something more than Swarga. So the husband and wife come together, serve each other, and then they take up the next set of service. And this next set of service is to raise a very Krishna conscious, God conscious children in the house. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, when Arjuna asked one question to Krishna, he said, my dear Lord, if somebody is trying to be your devotee, but he dies before perfecting his life, he doesn't become a pure devotee, but he dies before, what happens to him? Krishna says, don't worry. That person, in his next lifetime, either he will take a birth in a very aristocratic family, where he will continue his devotion life from where he left off, or he will take a birth in the house of a Brahmana or in the house of a devotee, where he will have all the facility to resume his devotional life, what he left in his past life. So when husband and wife, when they're coming together in the mood of serving Krishna, then the children that will come in their life, they are the children who are actually devotee of Krishna in the past life. And they are looking for such family where they can come and resume their devotional life again. So again, when such a family, when the children are born, the husband and wife, they are not saying, oh, this is my child. Husband doesn't say, ye mera vansh aage badhayega. He will take my name ahead. He will say, oh, this is the child of Krishna. Somehow, Krishna has put this child under my care. So let me give him all the facility he requires or she requires to become the best devotee of Krishna. And husband and wife, actually they have a mission that let this be the last birth of this child. At the end of this life, this child will go back to Godhead. So with that service attitude, again, husband and wife, they are serving child. They are not being just proud of, this is my child. They want to serve the child. And for that service, the husband and wife, whatever the child requires, education, clothing, whatever it requires, give it the best education you can afford. So in the material world, he can have a very easy life. So he can practice his bhakti very nicely. So again, and In the family, how many child you can afford, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, doesn't matter. The householder, as many child, if they can afford, with the one aspiration, to serve the child. Our dear Srila Prabhupada, his guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was in the family where his father had 10 children. But he had 10 children with the view that these children are given all the facilities, so at the end of their life they can go back home, back to Godhead. So we covered two aspects of service. Service to husband and a wife, they serve each other. Then service to the child. And the next we come to the service to the society. So you looked after each other, husband and wife are looking after each other very nicely. The children are looked after very nicely. Then the Grihastha, they try to serve the society at large. So those people, those who are suffering in this world, these Grihasthas, they make the facilities available to the people in general, so they can also come together and engage themselves in the service of Krishna. So the husband and wife, the family members, they support a preaching activity or a temple or a satsang. That way, they provide this very charitable activity of giving everybody an opportunity to come together and serve Krishna. So there is a third service to the society. And when we do these three services together, husband and wife looks after each other, they look after the child very nicely, they look after the society very nicely. Again, when you look after the society, that means you want to serve the society, so that they perfect their life and go back home, back to Godhead. If this, as we said, if the principles of the Grihastha ashram is service, and if you are looking after all these various aspects of your service, actually, the more Grihastha are there in this world, the world will become Vaikuntha. It will be a place where everybody is happy. There are happy families, there are happy communities, there are happy countries. And everybody becomes happy. So, actually it is the responsibility of every Grihastha to imbibe these principles of Grihastha ashram for their own benefit and for the benefit of the society. And then the next service that Grihastha ashrams do, as we said earlier, that they support all the other three ashrams. They support the Brahmachari ashram, the Vanaprastha ashram, and Sannyas ashram. So the Brahmachari, when the husband and wife, they are staying in the family life, they support the educational Brahmachari life of their children, and also the Brahmachari life of the temple or wherever the Brahmacharis are. They look after them as their own children. And the next ashram is Vanaprastha. So the family life, their own parents or the elderlies, those who are into Vanaprastha or the retired life, they support them. And also they support the sannyasi as well. So sannyasis, they're always traveling. So this Grihastha ashram, the families, they invite sannyasis. They invite them, they serve them very nicely and ask questions to them. That I am a Grihastha, I have a family life. Please bless us and please teach us how we can serve each other, how we can make our Grihastha life very nicely. Because the sannyasi, remember, he is also once a Grihastha before. He has tons and tons of experience and he is now completely given his life in the service of Krishna. So when